One of these days, I'm gonna clean my game room. Trust me, Mom. I'm gonna clean it. All right.
Hey guys, here we are bringing you a video on how you can build your own budget PC.
Who is the strongest thief? A shoplifter.
Instead of buying a brand new console to get yourself the freedom of PC gaming and not be restricted to only the games on console. Now right here you can see we picked out this Antec case. It's a micro case, the GIGABYTE B550M motherboard as well. Now this motherboard and all the parts used, they're not the current top of the line, right? We're doing a budget PC build that can still perform as well, if not a little bit better than these consoles right now. But to be able to go out and play games that you can't get on console.
Shit, the shovel was the groundbreaking invention.
Right here we are installing all the parts, the CPU cooler. We're just going through part by part, and I'm showing Elijah just how simple it is, and even having him install some of the parts. None of this is really that hard. If you know how to do Legos, you can build a PC. For the most part, every single thing when you build a PC is either labeled or is connector specific, meaning that for say the fans on the CP are slotted for only pins to be able to plug in on the motherboard for the fans. Same with your power connectors, same with your SATA cables for your hard drives. Everything's slotted to only fit that specific thing. So it's not like you can really mix up what you're plugging in. You can see right here we're installing the RTX 3050 that we picked up on this. All these parts were actually at a great price. Nothing we got on sale. So this was a budget build. We got it for $515, and then after tax took us to $550.
I tell you a joke about beds, but it hasn't been made up yet.
And then to get a copy of Windows 10 was only 15 bucks. So overall, to build this entire PC was only $565, which compared to any of the consoles nowadays is exactly right there on board. Now what we're doing right here is we're getting all the power wired through the entire case and making sure everything's through. And the funny thing is building something on stream is actually extremely stressful. It may not show like that in a video that's being fast forward, but having people watch you do something that I'm myself not exceptionally perfect at. So having people watch you, they are a great help, but at the same time, can be a little bit stressful. So here we are putting the case all back together. We're done for the most part. Now I did forget to plug in the CPU power connector.
My ex misses me, but her aim is improving.
Even after they told me in chat. But right here, as we're trying to boot the thing up for the first time, it wasn't booting. I was sitting there going through the troubleshooting guide, and that's the thing. All these PCs, when you're building, they have a troubleshooting guide that will take you through and be like, hey, first step, is it doing this? No. Okay, check this. Okay, is it doing that? Yes. Okay, go to the next step. And you can literally step by step go through the troubleshooting guide and figure it out. And it pointed right to the fact that, hey, you don't have your CPU power plugged in. I plugged it in and then I was done. And then also I had at the top the pins for the restart were backwards. And so I just had to go and switch those two cables around. They're labeled, right? But I just had mispinned them in there. And then of course the troubleshooting guy took me right in there and showed me, hey, you have a problem right here. So as we get going, we get our first boot going. We're getting everything lined up. The HDMI hooked up to the screen, monitor hooked up to the screen, and getting the keyboard hooked up. We're officially booted. Now, once you're booted, you get the BIOS and everything, and we're hitting the point to where it's telling us, hey, please give us a Windows boot file here. This was hard for me because I had it going from the PC we're building to the stream PC. So the video feed I had was kind of delayed. So to sit there and try to mouse over and stuff was delayed. And it was so hard to do. I skipped the Windows activation. It's you could put it in then, but the best thing to do is just skip it, go through, get Windows fully updated, and then get your key enter. You can see now we're booted in Windows and we're testing out the first game. I know everybody wants to see Call of Duty, one of the most popular shooters. Surprisingly enough, on Call of Duty, we ran anywhere from 90 to 100 frames per second. But we did have to go down to the basic video settings. But at the same point, this is a budget gaming build, right? This is the same graphics that you're going to be running on console, but lower frame. So as you come in, here you go. I am complete ass cheeks at Call of Duty, but you can see we were running smooth, and I'm just dying as quick as I normally would on my gaming build. We launched into this team deathmatch. You can see we already had a cheater. I played 2 matches just to get some reference videos. Second match already had a cheater just flying around running on the map. It's Call of Duty for you. It's how all these shooters are. They just want to sell you skins. They don't want to fix their games. But for a budget PC build, Call of Duty ran surprisingly well on it. And then now that we get done with Call of Duty here, Level 0 Extraction. Here's a game that you cannot play on console. This is a game, it's an indie game that you would only be able to find on something like Steam. So building your own PC takes you away from that console lock that you get, and you get to play a lot more games. So Level 0 here is an extraction alien horror game. So if you know what Tarkov is, it's like Tarkov meets Dead by Daylight. It's a great game. You go in, 4 teams of 3 go into a map, and then there's 2 alien players that are trying to kill the teams, and there's alien AI that are in there as well. You're gonna see me killing the alien AI right now with a nail gun. But the game ran completely smooth on here, especially for being an indie title on a small developer. This PC handled it great. I don't even think I turned down the graphics as well on this. So here we are just killing the aliens. We're waiting for that box right there in the middle to finish unlocking on the timer. It's just a loot box that we're trying to get. And we're just fast forwarding the video clip here just to show how much gameplay we played and everything fine. Next coming up, Epic Ultimate Battle Simulator. Now this is taking you outside of games that you can't play on console, and maybe you have kids or something that want to play. This is a game that me and my boy play all the time, and we're really trying to stress test this PC with this thing. We have over 15,000 units loaded into this battle. You can see we have over 13,000 zombies and just over 2,000 soldiers defending the city. So for a PC to try to render 15,000 movements all at the same time is huge. So we're running anywhere from 30 to 40 frames right here, which is completely acceptable for a game like this, especially for having to render so many movements at once and so many damage inputs and all of that. You can see we're handling this game completely fine, and it's just an amazing battle we had. We did some other ones where it's a lot less, and it ran all the way at the 60 frame that we had it limited to perfectly fine as well. But another game you can see running great on this console, or on this PC, sorry. Another game running great on this PC. For a budget build, this thing actually surprised me, right? I thought I was going to have to limit it a lot more. But for a $565 budget build, it's handling itself very well compared to what any console would give you. And especially because we're playing games outside that console offers as well. So here we are, we're just watching all those military try to kill off all these zombies and just all the interaction that's happening. Look at how many zombie actions are being processed as well as the military shooting them. And of course, we're going to test out how well it renders nukes. Absolutely amazing. Next up, again, your kids will probably be sharing a PC build like this with you, or maybe this would be a great PC build for you to build at a budget for your kids. Brick Rigs is another game. Kids love it, but you can't play it on console. This is solely a PC game. So my boy loves playing Brick Rigs. We're going to come in here, and I just wanted to show you guys a few clips real quick of how well this is like a game of Legos within a game, right? So Brick Rigs is you're able to go in there and build these creations, and there's so many pieces to each thing. So you can see when they break, it's got to render all these physics of the pieces breaking apart, flying everywhere. And the PC's handling it absolutely amazing. So this was a game I was actually worried about because there's so many pieces within these build figures that when they shatter can easily graphically lag your computer. And this one handled it exceptionally strong. Next, Elijah had to put in People Playground, yet another game you can only find on Steam, right? On PC. You can't find these games on console. And I know I just keep saying the same thing. Another reason to build your PC instead of buying one. It just makes sense, right? You literally limit yourself when you play on console compared to the freedoms that you have on PC. Now, little man's gonna show you guys his favorite game. This game's not really a big graphic render or anything like that. It's a 2D model game. It does have some things that have some high rendering graphics. Nothing that this PC can't handle though. So he's just wanting to show you guys in this video of him playing it.
No, this is the locust.
There's a donkey in it for sure.
That's a locust. It's called the locust. This thing comes out of a TV screen. It also plays the piano, but it's really badly. Look how tall this
Now, I
thing
do want to
is.
reinforce the fact that
You can't
at this time, this
you
PC
can't
was
see his
outputting
butt.
on the graphics card not only to the monitor we're playing on, but at this point was
That's
rendering
the
out to
aperture
the
right there.
stream PC as well.
You know what?
So
You want
right
creepy
here,
towers?
this PC was dual outputting the video signal on top of rendering all of this graphics. And then now here's another game that is very graphics heavy when it comes to physics and everything like that. So, BeamNG Drive is a driving simulator, but with the realistic graphics of vehicle accidents. Now we're gonna fast forward through most of what Elijah was playing here, and that's because he was just playing around, crashing this bus, and then I finally had told him towards the end, I'm like, hey bud, try to make this thing lag. Like, do something that's gonna really, make this thing, like you're gonna freeze the game. And then so he went and then decided to start messing with the gravity. Again, physics when it's having to process all that is pretty heavy on the render loading. He plays these games, I don't get it, right? Bus full of ragdolls, he's just crashing it, driving it through the dirt.
We starved of oil, guys. I don't think we can get out of this. How come the two wheels are spinning? How are you still alive?
And then now here's where he's gonna go and then just start smashing this thing to absolute pieces. And what I was really proud of this PC is just to be able to handle this, right? Because it's built with about the equivalent, maybe just a little bit more power of a console. And so handling these games is actually quite a feat to be able to render the graphics of these physics and these big events that happen in games.
What the? It can handle the. Oh my god! Oh why? Oh, being immortal makes it worse because we still feel the pain.